The Vitamin God, a short story by Wayne's Universe of bizarre and exotic characters. The stumpy little white man with the raspberry red nose and the pear-shaped belly shouted at the Namibian herbalist and her innocuous neighbors to clear the road for him and his guests as the riders trudged past the late afternoon funeral procession in a horse-drawn vehicle. "Come on, you freeloaders, get the lead out of your African butts and make room for us to pass you, for heaven's sake," screamed the production manager of Hornica, i.e. Horn of Africa Industries, whose immense weight was once again causing him to break a sweat that was beginning to transform his raspberry red nose into a large ripe strawberry from the concomitant swelling. "Go in peace," answered the Namibian herb woman with a truculent smile on her face. "We're simple folk here. We mean you no harm." Asking the native horse carriage driver to halt the vehicle for a short spell, the production manager fastened his haughty gaze upon the rich chocolate-brown physiognomy of the herb woman, asking her rather rudely, "What is your name, old woman?" "I am the woman who provides herbs. That is my name," she replied succinctly. "Well, I think that you're a loudmouth old bitch, that's what I think," cussed the production manager in return. "You ass-backward goat herder types always seem to be climbing up my back wherever I go in this infernal country of yours. What do you say to that?" "I'm not a herder of goats, you insolent white colonialist, you," the herb woman scoffed. "I provide the life-giving floral extracts that cure illness in my village cohabitants. And how do you make your living, might I ask?" "Oh, you're one of those health food nuts," the fat man wisecracked. "So why does everyone around here look like an overgrown praying mantis? I sell vitamins too, you know." "Our native country folk don't share your body shape, thank the creator of all," the herb woman responded blithely, bitterly too. "Oh yeah, loudmouth? It looks like they could use some of our vitamins if you ask me," retorted the blubbergut. "Your so-called vitamins are made from inorganic sources, and the ones that aren't are made from inferior-grade ingredients," argued the elderly, though well-conditioned herbalist. "Ah, that's a bunch of poppycock," the corporate fat man dismissed her comment with a wave of his thick hand. "There's nothing wrong with our pharmaceuticals. You sun bunnies could use a good jolt from our company's products, trust me." "You bring death and starvation to our land from your accursed America," the herb woman said scornfully as she watched the obese executive light himself a thin, foul-smelling, cigarette-shaped cigar. "Yeah, well, have fun at your funeral, cutie," the production manager quipped disdainfully as he mopped a streak of sweat away from his overabundant brow. "Driver," he bellowed, "get this jalopy moving again. I've had enough of this abuse from the locals." "You are the one who is the abuser," spat the Namibian healer. "I can see that you're going to be a tough one to tame, lady," the fat man grumbled. "Well, what do you say, driver? You just going to sit there, or are you going to get us to the meeting?" "Learn to treat him like a human being," the herb woman advised the money-hungry lout, "and he may respond to you as though you were one yourself." Turning toward the man and the woman who were seated patiently next to him in the horse-drawn carriage, who were two of his corporate underlings, the blubbergut carped, "You just can't find yourself good help nowadays." As the carriage slowly and stealthily made its way past the funeral procession, the herb woman let loose with a parting volley once the fat man was out of earshot, namely, "We could easily say the same of your fellow countrymen back in America, you swine." In the wake of the departed carriage, the group of motley mourners kept advancing steadily toward the graveyard at the forgotten edge of the township. "This is the 7th consecutive day that we're going to visit the boneyard, Kandana," said a thin man in the funeral procession who had grown up as a next-door neighbor of the herb woman. "What is the great cause that we are trying so hard to serve so blindly?" "I'm Oa," she answered, her longtime acquaintance. "You know full well that the pharmaceutical giants are seeking to poison us with their fake medicines. It is our sacred task to stop them dead in their tracks. That is our cause and our sole purpose for visiting the site so frequently." But you said last night that today would be our last trek to the pit, Aimoa reminded the herbalist of her former words. Is this so, or is it not? Have patience, my friend, she smiled broadly through the mask of her withered visage. It will not be long before our efforts will indeed be rewarded. I just hope that you know what you're talking about, old woman, spat a doubting Thomas in the group who had stopped for a moment to soothe his tired feet. Kima, she addressed the doubter informally. The pit is not far from us now. What we do as a unit. That is the only way that we can defeat our North American and European enemies. Oh, everyone with white skin to you is an enemy, Kandana, pouted Aimoa. This is not so, she answered him with dignity to spare. The Creator of all knows what each of us feels, even in the deep recesses of the heart, and my heart is clean on that score. Kandana, shouted Aimoa. She replied with a subdued sense of amazement, What is it, my friend? I see an orange mist rising from the pit in the distance, Aimoa gesticulated hurriedly with his bony fingers. And now it's descending into the pit. What does this mean? It means that our work is almost complete, the Herb woman responded in a flat voice. Nearly all the others craned their necks this way and that in order to capture a glimpse of the phenomenon, only to be thwarted in the process. The only members of the group who had not been able to join in the general melee had been the 6 pallbearers, simply because their hands had been busy toting the casket. Aimoa, this is a futile effort, grouched Kima. We ought not to have listened to this foolish old woman. She raised 5 healthy children, objected Aimoa. She's hardly what one would call the foolish type. You always take her side on everything, Kima fumed. We've been running around in circles for 6 days now. When will we be released from this insane asylum? Aimoa pushed Kima, knocking him off balance for a few seconds. Before Kima could regain his equilibrium and attack Aimoa, the herb woman shouted, Stop at this instant. Do you hear me? Both of you are acting like children. We'll arrive at our destination in only a few minutes, and then you can expend your energies. Till that time, save your strength, because we all may need it then. Dusting himself off with a strained eyeline creasing his forehead, Kima wagged a finger at Aimoa and said, It's a good thing for you that the herb woman is here to cover your backside, my friend. Otherwise, I'd knock your yellow teeth out into the cow pasture. I'd hate to be above you when the hot air rises from your mouth, Kima, countered Aimoa. A chubby young woman with hoop earrings and a slightly off-center nose intervened at this point, grousing, You two had better quit showing disrespect for the Ancient One. She has a point there, agreed Kandana. The gods who rule human health don't like it when men fight over trivial matters. That's how wars start all over the globe. All right, said Aimoa nasally. I apologize for my actions, Kima. We are fools to fight one another when the American pill manufacturer is our real foe. I only wish that I had such confidence in your opinion, replied Kima, partially accepting Aimoa's half apology. Now that the dust is settled, laughed the herb woman, let's concentrate on the task at hand. Make way for the pallbearers, everybody, so that the casket may lead the procession. I'm so enthused, Kima grimaced facetiously. If I had the money, I'd buy a ringside seat for the festivities. Teasing his longtime nemesis, Aimoa chuckled, And you think that you milking a cow is worth paying to see, Kima? In our country, having a cow to milk is a plus, quipped the herb woman philosophically. Please, everyone, she added, make way for the coffin bearers. Soon enough, the entourage of village yokels reached the open pit, where for the past 6 days running they had been dumping vast amounts of herb, organic materials, health-inducing potions, and the like into the gaping mouth of the place. The group's nominal leader, the venerable herb woman Kandana, motioned for the casket bearers to set their burden down right along the ledge of the pit. She then had them open the coffin, which was nearly 3/4 filled with donated nutritional supplements, vitamin compounds, emptied mounds of powder from delicious protein packets, and so on and so forth. Raising her arms and circulating them in a mystical manner, she said, Pour the contents of the box into the great pit, my friends. Tonight is the night that we will reap the rewards of our concerted efforts. With a hefty amount of care and precision, the 6 pallbearers stood virtually shoulder to shoulder and slowly expelled the healthy materials from the casket over the lip of the 30-foot deep crater. When they had finished their work, the herb woman led the group in a series of dances and chants, finally culminating in a plea from her to the creator of all to raise up a defender of the Namibian villagers against the North American devils who had brought their impure medicines to Africa along with them. Not long thereafter, during a lull in the ceremony, a huge crash of thunder, which was then followed by inexplicably fierce lightning streaks, graced the sky with a welcome breeze that cooled the late afternoon air around the open pit. Gazing down into the core of the aperture, the entire assemblage then witnessed the birth of a light-drenched being, fully 12 or 13 feet in height, when he had finally lifted his glowing physique off the floor of the pit, who crawled laboriously up the side of the vitamin hall. The end. The editing will be done by Bill Rose, and I thank you. Be on the lookout for more Wayne's Universe of bizarre and exotic characters, short stories, and videos. Thank you.